Hey, yo, what is good, guys? Welcome back to another video, another market outlook video today. And we got some big news. And I'm going to be telling you guys ways to make money next week because, this news honestly changes a lot. But with that being said, we had a green Friday, a decent looking Friday. But for the week, we are on like kind of half and half. But Nvidia, Apple, key stocks are up. And some good news with Apple and Nvidia overall. We're going to be talking about it a little bit later. We hit some new highs with gold. We're at $3,245. Apple, we got some decent news that we're going to be talking about later. Like I said, look at Apple to the 210 level, probably market open on Monday, unless we get some bad news somehow. But yeah, but AMD shares climb on expanding AI footprint and Google cloud partnership. So they have a partnership with Google. So look for Google and AMD or Alphabet and AMD to the upside with this partnership. We got Citigroup adjusted price target on Nvidia to 150 from 163. So this might bring it down, the stock down overall. But with the good news, it might not really budge with this. We got another price target of Meta to 725 from 775. So $50 down, but that might bring this one down too. And then Tesla to 314 from 320. It isn't too much of a difference, but you guys already know whenever they put the price targets down, it is bad news. But let's get into some news for Apple and Nvidia. So, we mainly see it on the headlines. Trump is basically making an exemption for phones, computers, chips from the tariffs. And he even included the China tariffs. So we're not going to get that 145% on iPhones or anything like that. And that was kind of the biggest things where, Apple and Nvidia was going down. So they're getting relief and they're going to score big. So with that being said, keep Apple and Nvidia on your radar because chips and the iPhones is, honestly, just gonna spike up from this. So keep Apple. Like I think I'm gonna be looking at Apple. I have a over the weekend call, so I'm kind of pumped up for this to see how it really goes. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about that, some price targets and stuff like that a little bit later. But bond market sell-off severe as long-term yield notch biggest week since 1982. We're getting some records, man. We're beating records. Tesla stock moves lower as EV maker pulls US made cars from China. So basically, recently he pulled some of the cars that are US made from China, the Model S and the Model X, but they still have some EVs that are made in China anyway. So it's not really like they're completely out, but they are up nearly 1.7% with the remade Model Y. A lot of people heard about this. They were kind of like postponing sales for the Model Y, which is insane. We got NVIDIA outlook lowered on slowing data center builds. But with, with the good news that we recently got, this is before we got that news with the tariffs. So this would have brought down the stock a little bit, but now that we got, Nvidia and Apple scoring relief from the US tariffs, that's good. Fear and greed, we're at 13. I think like a couple of days ago we were at 4, which was insane. So now we're kind of getting out of it, but we're not really like clear yet. But yeah, man. If we really think about it, China kind of said this themselves that 145 is probably the max that they will go. Just because, if you go a little bit higher, it's not really going to be good for the other companies. So 145 is the max. So if you really think about it, the only bad things that we can get is if they stop selling or buying things. I think, trade might be canceled. You never know. But I think here now we're just going to get more better news rather than bad news with the trade war, unless something bad happens, of course. So don't think that we're clear, but I think we're getting some better news overall, and our market might look a little bit more bullish, unless it gets worse, of course. But I think we're just going to be getting some good deals. And Trump even said it himself that there's going to be something good out of this trade war. So hopefully, man, hopefully he's right. Because last time he said something like that, man, he moved tariffs for 90 days, some of the calendar. So we're going to be looking at not really anything major on Monday. Tuesday, we got the price index at 8:30, 30 minutes before market opens. Wednesday, we got U.S. retail sales, other things like that, which is decent. Thursday, initial jobless claims, housing starts, building permits. But I believe on Wednesday, Jerome is speaking. Apparently, that is what I heard, or maybe somebody in over there speaking. But I think Jerome's speaking on Wednesday. That is what I heard. So with Friday starting some earnings, this is our earnings for this week now. So Goldman Sachs is going to be decent. We got some banks on Tuesday. I'm going to be looking into. These are going to be decent ones, especially Citibank. I think Citibank is probably going to be the biggest one. Wednesday, we got some other things, another banking. It's mainly banking. Thursday, I'm really pumped for Amex. Everybody uses Amex. And then we also got some earnings with Netflix. So you might see the stock soar or go down. I don't really think it's gonna like be too bad, honestly, because I mean tariffs don't really affect Netflix. Imagine having to pay a tariff on watching a movie. That'd be honestly insane. So let's look at some price targets. So for Apple, honestly, I think we're gonna get a big jump upwards. I think honestly, man, we've been kind of battling that 200 level, especially a couple days ago. So I think we might be able to break past that 200 level, and you might even see it open up at that 205 level. If not, we might open up 202, 203, and honestly, man, best case scenario, we might open up at 210 to 215. But honestly, I think we just got to wait until pre market, of course, to see where Apple's really going to be moving and kind of get a little bit of a direction of where Apple is going. So we're just going to do some levels based on the $200 level. So levels upwards, I'll look at that 205, that 208, that 210. That 210 is going to be key. 212.50, 216, 219.7, 229 to that 230 level is going to be key. 225.9, 240.4, and that 247.13, and then upwards to that 250. I don't think, I mean, honestly, man, I think the tariffs were like affecting Apple a lot, especially the China sales. But I don't think we'll see 250 unless we see it at the end of the week. I mean, it'll be insane. Imagine we open up and we're at like 250 already. That'd be insane. I don't think it's going to be that hype. I think look around that 210 level for Monday for Apple. Spy might jump up, especially if Nvidia and Apple both jump up at the same time. We might even get Apple overtaking Microsoft again because Microsoft got first place now. But for the Spy, I'll look at that 535, 537.5, 542, 547.25, and that 560 level. To the downside, 529.7, 526.5, 523.5, and that 520. So NVIDIA. So I mean, honestly, man, we might get a little jump maybe to that 115 level, but some levels to look at just based on that 110 level. Look at that 112, 114, 116, 117.8, and that 120 is going to be key. Past that 120, 125, and 130. Downside, if we do get some downside, 109, 107.5, 105.7, and that 100 level. And yeah, keep Palantir on your radar too. Kind of moves in NVIDIA, and I don't know if the chips will really affect it. But to the upside, I'll look at that $90 level is going to be key. We bounced off of it a few times. We kind of broke above it a little bit, but I think that $90 level is going to be key. 91.5, 93.3, and that 95 level, and then back up to that $100 level later on. Tesla, honestly, man, we're kind of breaking a little bit downwards. We're kind of looking down. We're kind of consolidating a little bit. But to the upside, I'll be looking at that 256, 260, 264, 267.8, and that 270 level. To the downside, 248, 242.5, and that 239.3 level, and that 235 for Tesla overall. Netflix, since we got earnings, we can take a little peep at it. So I think for Netflix, man, I'll be looking at that 925, 936, 944, 950, 960, 970, some whole numbers, and that $1,000 level if we can get back above that. I don't think we will unless you get insane earnings. I mean, we kind of did before, as you guys seen, it broke up like almost $100 to $200, but I don't think we'll get the same. I mean, we might honestly. You never know. I mean, everybody loves Netflix, man. But yeah, and then some Google. Let's look at Google a little bit. So to the upside, I'll be looking at that 160 level, past that 160, 162, and then 165. To the downside, I'll be looking at that 155 level. Sorry, I was tripping for a second, but 155, 152.5, and that 150 level to the downside. But that deal might bring this back. And AMD, came in type AMD though, but for AMD, I'll be looking at it to see if we can break that $100 level once again. We can break above that $100 level, 104, and then that 110 level. To the downside, 90, 86, 82, and that $80 level. I'm kind of pumped because I got this stock at $80, my average cost. I got it recently. I didn't really get it before. I've been loading up on my long term recently, and honestly, man, it's doing pretty decent. But I think $80 is a decent buy level for now, especially if you see a breakdown to there. But honestly, man, I mean, it hasn't really been to that $80 level in a while, except for like a couple months ago or a year plus. But I did load up at that $80 level once it was going back up. So yeah, man. But thanks for watching the video. Smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new. Let me know what plays you guys got, and thanks for watching.